Alrighty guys, welcome to the finale of Illusion of Gaia. In the last part we did the Tower of Babel and the entirety of the gem side quest, well, we finished it off. And now it's time to, well, have plot. Will, it's me, Ulman, your father. My body is decayed, but I live on like this. And I think it's been a while since we actually last heard this song. Father, why are you in that form? There's a strange room in the Tower of Babel, filled with the light of the comet. Time goes so fast there that people evolve very quickly. Why are Kara and I able to live? Because you two are evolved humans. What? Us? Long ago there existed biological technology using the light of the comet. That is poor grammar. People freely use the power to make plants and animals. For example, they made the camel. It can go for long periods without food or water. When people realized the power could be used as a weapon, demons were developed. Well, that explains all the monsters we've been fighting. The world was on the brink of ruin. At that time, the Knights of Darkness and Light were developed to decide the fate of humanity. They are your ancestors. The 6 mystic statues were made by the Knights. The last mystic statue is entrusted to you. Wow, my speech failed there for like a third of a second. So, yeah, remember those things we've been collecting since the Incan Ruins in part, like, 3? Number 6 is in the finale! Yeah, they really spaced those things out. Soon the comet will be very close. By then, the two of you must go to the roof of the tower. Close your eyes. Okay then. The ancients worshipped the comet as a spirit. Those bathed in the comet's light were given a strange power. The comet is called a spirit, but it's an unwelcome spirit. Evolving too fast brings destruction. As long as people have evil hearts, demons will be born. Will, open your eyes and look around. Hey, other spirit people! Walking! Ah, well, it's been a long time. Such a world. If I could talk of this at an academy, I'd be a great scholar. And these other guys are pretty much unimportant. Neil's mother and father are here, and I actually never really talked to them when they were in the Moon Tribe back when we were in Euro. And of course Hamlet's here, which is the best spirit of all. But, yeah. I don't know who this person's supposed to be. It's obviously Luigi. At last the time is near. Everyone give Will your power. I have the power! Hi, Kara. When Will and Kara joined and became one with the Light Knight, a great power was born. The Knights were brought forth, the Dark Knights on the power of the Firebird was released, and this game's story is stupid. What is going on? Well, apparently we're Shadow again. Anyway, time for the final boss. After about 20 seconds of this, actually, I'll admit, if you could actually edit out the HUD up top, this would actually make a really cool screensaver. And time for the final boss of the game. 2 phases, as is usual for final bosses. First off is the comet. I think the emulator is glitching out here, because in the Super Nintendo card, I don't remember the face always being visible. I remember it only being there when you could damage it, which is when it opens its mouth to fire up those green balls. 20 HP, since you do 3 per attack, it's not that bad at all, actually. The only thing is the green balls that fall down are random, so be careful, you're never entirely safe. And this is really all he does. If he had another attack, maybe he'd be a bit more threatening, but he's really not. I'm calling it a he, but for all I know, this could be non-gendered. Or she. Well, that nasal structure looks male. Either way, the comet is easy. Aura, thank you. However, time for the true final boss of the game, Dark Gaia. And I gotta say, this thing looks kick-ass. However, it's pretty easy. 3 attacks in this boss. But first you have the water bubbles, which go randomly around the screen. Your firebird attack, which just replaces your normal attack, can take them out in one hit. You got the green energy balls that come out of the sides, which you can only dodge really by using aura. And then you got the third attack, which she does. I'm assuming it's a she. It looks like a she, at least. Does when she is able to be hit, which is that Technicolor rainbow laser, which right now. That hurts, by the way, and you can also only dodge that by using aura. As you can probably tell, you can only hit her when she's doing that third attack, however, and she won't always do it. I recommend just mashing the button below where the blue jewel is, and you should do just fine. Also, I gotta say, Enix, I'm disappointed. A game this long, the final boss isn't completely weird looking, because I've seen weirder in my days. Neo X Death, I'm looking at you. And Bizarro Sephiroth, that did look kinda weird. Though Neo X Death takes all. Actually, no, the Radiant Historia final boss looked pretty weird too. Really, though, Dark Gaia, nothing too troubling. The only thing that's really off-putting about her is the amount of damage she does. I recommend having some herbs for this fight, just in case. Although, you might remember how many times I mentioned the fact that those lives at the top, if you die, you get started back at the room you're at, unless you die with 0 left. Not so here. If you die, even if you lose all your lives here at the final boss, you will start at the final boss, as far as I'm aware. You'll just have to fight the comet all over again. Really like this final boss tune, by the way. It's short and repetitive, like the Zero Miss theme from Final Fantasy IV, but it's still really cool. Also, for some reason, after going to that menu, there's now a white bar on the side of the screen. I don't know what that is. That wasn't there in recording. Well, obviously it was there in the recording, but it wasn't there when I was noticing it, so something happened. And wow, we melted that thing's face. And that's it! Game over! Now, you're gonna notice something coming up here really quick. Those who have played the game will know that the text does not scroll as fast and that the footage is actually sped up. This dialogue sequence, which I'm actually not going to read because I'm going to be saying this, really, for us is around 2.5 minutes. In the actual game, it's around 8. And half-hour parts are something I'm not a fan of unless I'm getting a lot of stuff done. In this, I'm just finding a final boss and then the stuff afterwards, but that's just not cool, guys. At least give us the option to scroll the text quickly. But essentially, to sum this up, we beat the game. And now our mother and father are telling us some stuff, which actually, I gotta admit, the stuff that they're telling us is actually really kind of gets you to think. Really, the fact that I sped it up does ruin the kind of mood that's going on here, but seriously, 8 minutes? Ugh. But luckily, the text is on screen long enough for you to be able to read it. Ugh. Although apparently the map is starting to change into something very familiar to us. Where do I know that from? Pretty much, we were on the meteor, comet rather, and due to how the comet works, essentially, our time seemed like it was at a standstill. But the Earth was going on without us. Very quickly, might I add. And the comet's influence on the world is gone, so no more demons. Sweet. Also, I like how the Earth sprite in the back there is actually from the title screen. Or is the title screen from here? So yeah, plot happened. By the way, I really do love that song that plays there, and this song. And we're actually at normal speed now. Will, come here. Show me your face. Also, I want to mention right now, for some reason, this song reminds me of Aerith's theme from 7. I don't know why it does, but it just does. I think it's the little... not really piano. Strings, I suppose? But anyway, Kara's pretty much memorizing us since we might not see each other for a long time. I really am sorry, I really couldn't read this, but I don't want to have a 31-minute part dedicated to pretty much just an ending. But Will's gonna search for Kara no matter what, essentially. When exactly they fell in love with each other, I don't know. Hormones. But it's cute at the same time. How old are these guys supposed to be again, actually? I've always guessed around between 15 and 14 and 16. Whoa, what are you two doing? So now we turn to Shadow and we're gonna go rule the world. Okay then! Admittedly, this kind of ending, more accurately, that part of the ending didn't really make sense to me until recently, and I love this sprite work here, by the way. This looks beautiful. The Earth's look had changed. But, glowing in the sky, it was as beautiful as ever. Buildings replaced the forests, rivers became roads, but the villagers, or villages, held only smiles. Or smiling faces, ugh. But the Earth was the only one who looked sad. You couldn't have this scroll faster, guys. Tomorrow morning, Kara and I will start our new lives. The Tower of Babel stands tall, as if it knows the whole future of the Earth. Okay then. And with that, that was the end of Illusion of Gaia, guys, and wow, this is... it's a mixed batch, to say the least. I will say, in terms of recording, this is actually one of the Let's Plays that I've done in recent times that's taken me the longest to record. Because I started this Let's Play recording on July 2nd of 2014. I'm not sure when this is going to get uploaded. I'm going to guess towards December, maybe later even. And it's currently September 5th. Mega Man Legends still takes that king place of being the longest so far, though. But anyway, as for the game itself, pluses and minuses, I'll start with the cons. This game's story sucks. I'll be brutally honest. Mind you, you can blame this probably the English translation from that. From what I heard, it's a lot better on the Japanese version, but I wouldn't know for sure. However, admittedly, I do like when the story gets philosophical. I love all the moments where they just kind of stop being teenagers. Mostly just because they actually do give you some stuff to think about. And I admittedly, even though I had to fast forward it, those ending dialogue cutscenes between Will, Kara, and Will's parents, I do love. Those actually make you think a little bit. But anyway, as for the game otherwise, the pluses, it's pretty good, actually. Gameplay-wise, I think it's a really solid action RPG. Decent length, and pretty fun to play, actually. Like I mentioned, though, the story does kind of weigh that down a little bit. From what I heard, Terranigma does enhance the gameplay, but I hear from varying people it's better and worse at the story at the same time, which kind of scares me. Musically speaking, oh my god, I haven't really mentioned it that much, but this game's soundtrack is glorious. Not the best on the Super Nintendo, obviously, but it's still really good. I'm especially a fan of the credits music here and the title theme. Graphically for Super Nintendo, obviously, yet again, it's not the strongest, but for 94, this looks pretty good. Terranigma, Final Fantasy VI, and Chrono Trigger would go on to perfect the Super Nintendo graphics, but I still think this looks pretty pleasing to the eye. Yeah, overall, I think it's a rather solid game. If you can ignore the story, good for on you. However, if you play games for story, sorry about that. If you want to play this, as far as I'm aware, you're kind of out of luck with ports. As far as I'm aware, there was only the Super Nintendo port. I'm Googling to see if there's another one right now. Also, one weird little thing, by the way. This game's called Illusion of Gaia over here, and essentially in Japan as well. Although, actually, in Japan it's called The Records of the Illusion of Gaia, so even then, the title's in there. But for any PAL region fans I might have, or we might have, rather, it's actually called Illusion of Time. I'm not sure why that is, but it's called that. Will I ever do the sequel and prequel of Soul Blazer and Terranigma? Well, to quote the magic conch shell from SpongeBob, maybe someday. And I really mean that. I have very little experience with either of those games. Don't get me wrong, from what I've played of them, they are really good, it's just that I need more experience. This, I gotta admit though, it's a journey, I will admit to that. It does have its moments of kind of just, it drags on a bit, but it's overall still a great game. The one thing I could say, though, is don't go for the all 50 red jewels. I recommend only going for around 20, as I mentioned, I think, a bit earlier in the Let's Play, because you don't need to do that bonus dungeon. Honestly, that's just effort not really worth it. And admittedly, my least favorite sections of the game are not even the dungeons, it's the long story sequences like the tunnel and the raft, because those just, ugh. I'm okay with dialogue sequences that can take a bit, but at least give me some, like, breaks to save, or the ability to skip through text faster, not have me on, like, a in-game timer. Ugh. But like I said, I think it's worth your try if you want to. Super Nintendo carts do go for a decent amount of cash, actually, if I recall correctly. Let me check Amazon really quick. Also, this credit sequence is also really drags out. But, mostly because there's a lot of people who worked on this, because Enix actually was pretty good back in the day. In fact, the next Enix game that's not a Dragon Warrior Quest I want to play, I actually really want to do ActRaiser, because that is another game I quite like. But overall, the next one, Enix related at least, is going to be Dragon Warrior 2, just because it's been about 2 years, I think, since I did the original, so I want to get to that. Let's see. Oh, wow. New Illusion of Gaia carts go for $270, whereas used ones go for $16. Yeah, go for... Go for the used carts. Mind you, I think I got my card for around $30. But then again, how good condition is that? And that's in pretty good condition. But, yeah. Overall enjoyable, I'd say. Though, if I'm going to recommend a Super Nintendo action RPG, I will recommend Secret of Mana, and really, that's about it. Mind you, even then, Secret of Mana still has a lot of glitches to it, and there's quite a few things I don't like. Actually, I've got to look at my Super Nintendo library right now, see if I can find a good action RPG. ActRaiser 2. Well, obviously anything Zelda, but that's about that. Anyway, as for the next game I'm going to do on the channel overall, I already actually have a good amount of it recorded. Well, chronologically at least, considering you guys are going to be seeing a lot of other games. Well, I've recorded a lot of other games throughout the recording time of this. But the next one that you guys are going to be seeing is quite the more painful experience, if you guys can catch my drift. It's going to be quite different from this. And oh yeah, I just realized the title screen music started. Booyah, I love this song. Yeah, 94, I was right about that. I was actually kind of doubting whether or not this came out in 94 or 93. Actually, what did come out in 93? Huh. There's something big that came out in 93, I remember that. In fact, 94 and 95 were the Super Nintendo years. I'm looking at you, Super Metroid, and Chrono Trigger, and Final Fantasy VI, and Earthbound, and a lot of other great games. The Super Nintendo just has an amazing library. But finally, we're getting to the end of these credits. I'll admit, I don't have much to say through these credits, because they're just so long. At least the Metroid Zero mission, like the Metroid ones, they're fairly quick, so I can at least give my opinion on the games and such. But, yeah, this one's finally over with. I'm at least glad I did it, because I did have fun with this. Thank you guys for playing, or thank me for playing, and thank you guys for watching. I can't imagine what you guys are commenting at this point, considering we're still... Superstar Saga hasn't even started up at this point yet. So, yeah. Oh, that is adorable. Also, I gotta admit, the sprites are pretty detailed, especially Will's. Hamlet, I love you. But what's this? Well, it looks a bit different, doesn't he? Oh, wow, school. Ugh. What kind of bell is that? Ah, my ears. Class is over. Please be careful crossing the streets, 'cause we have very little money. I wonder how many of you guys have actually played Tactics. We have had a lot of traffic accidents lately. Hey, South Cape theme. And, hey, everyone's around, booyah. Looks like the New World's shaping out to be pretty good, although I have to wonder what kind of school this is based off of, whether it's the 90s or the 2000s. Either way. But, yeah. I'm gonna need to end this Let's Play off here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Rate, comment, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. I'll see you guys next Let's Play, whatever that may be. See you guys then, and I hope you're having a great night, everyone.